Hey everybody, welcome to a special episode of Storytime at the Ruba. So as you can tell, Charlotte and I have made it to Bangkok. We're not going to do our episode from here just yet. Instead, we have a bit of a guest episode for you this week. So we have Austin and Emilio and Anthony, three of our Totem scholars, are hosting a special episode. They got a lot that they're going through. They recorded for us right before we left. Next week, we're going to have one from Maddie in Atlanta that has something in store for us. And then at some point in your YouTube feed, you're going to see a special video episode from me and Charlotte about many of our favorite things here in town in Bangkok and why we feel that it shares a lot in common with Bonnaroo. Trust us, you'll see. But for now, we're going to throw it to those three guys, three of our Totem scholars. Thank you guys for doing this. We'll see you guys later from Bangkok. I'm going to give it to those guys. You're in good hands.
All right. Hello, Rubus family, Rubus folks. Hello from Knoxville. I am Austin Preston. This is a very special episode of the Rubus podcast. It's Totem Edition, we'll call it. So I am Austin Preston. I am a former Totem scholar from what was Rue 25, partial Rue, Rain, Rainocalypse, whatever. So yeah, that's me, and I am joined by my fellow Totem scholars, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
All right, thanks, Austin. My name's Anthony. I was also a former Totem scholar. I was in the first class back in 24, right? Yes. So this will be my my third Bonnaroo coming up. I'm broadcasting from Ohio. I'm the Ohio kid here, all the way up north. We got snow on the ground, unfortunately. I wish I was in Knoxville. That sounds a lot sunnier. I know, Emilio, you're hanging out in LA right now, but I love Ohio. So I was part of the 2024 class, my third Rue coming up, and I'm pretty excited for it. I'm happy to be on the podcast, I think, for my second official time, so it should be a good one.
Hi everyone, my name is Emilio. I am, I guess, Austin's like my classmate, because we're in the same cohort, part of the Totem Scholars second cohort. And yeah, as Anthony said, I'm broadcasting live from Los Angeles. Specifically, right now I'm out in Burbank. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about my Rue scholarship experience and anything else that comes up in our fun little conversation today.
Yeah, very cool. Well, we'll jump right into it. Totem, as most of you probably know, our fellow listeners, is the opportunity to experience music. It's a very cool organization that provides folks that want to experience Bonnaroo the opportunity to do so through a very cool scholarship program. You get admission to Bonnaroo. You get to camp out with the Rubus family, Rubus folks. It's a great experience all around, and it is, we're right in the midst of it. Applications are out. They've been live for a while now. I know we've been talking about it a lot, but the deadline is this Friday, 27th. Is it the 20? Did I get that right? 20? Let me double check so I'm not.
I believe it's the 20.
Is it? Sorry. Yep. So it is this Saturday, the 28th. So I believe by the time this is out, the deadline will be that day. So if you listen in, apply if you haven't already. It'll be a great opportunity. We'll just go into it and kind of talk about our personal experiences. I know from 25, it was, the year cut short. Emilio and I, not much, but we made it last. The time that we did have, we had a lot of great experiences. There's a lot of great ways to get involved. I know for me, a big thing that the Rubus folks have been involved with is the Wednesday pre-party that this year for Bonnaroo is going to be kicking up a bit. There's a lot more, exciting things happening there. I can't speak on it too much. Not my wheelhouse, but a lot of exciting things coming. And something that was really cool for me last year was just kind of getting to see the behind the scenes aspect of that, what goes into the production of, live events and shows, which was, something career-wise that I'm pursuing. And that was something that caught my interest of the Totem Scholarship. So yeah, it was great. It caught my, that was something that stood out to me. But of course, maybe there was something different for you guys. But yeah, just all around, just a great experience.
Yeah, no, the Wednesday pre-party was, I want to say, a surprise for me in 24 because I really didn't know it was happening. Because when we wanted to go to Bonnaroo, I'm not gonna lie, my eyes were set on Cagey Elephant. That's why I was there. So from the moment I showed up on Wednesday, it was like, we got to survive until Saturday so I can be in the pit for Cage. And then they start setting up these stages and whatnot right by the camp is when the Wednesday pre-party happens. And I'm like, wow, this is really cool. All this is happening. Goodness, a lot of talented acts show up and play. You'd be amazed the amount of talent they can fit in a day. I think last year they had probably 10 maybe perform in the lineup.
Yeah, something like that. Like it was just
Yeah.
packed.
DJs and bands. I mean, Daft Punk was there. You really can't beat that.
Man, it was such a great time. Like and again, it was also a surprise to me. Like I knew like it was happening, but just the size of it, the scale, and
Yes.
of course, there was the afters that, happened, when the cancellation, and, we can get into that, but just the monsoon of, post Bonnaroo parties. But it was just such a great time. But man,
It's interesting you said it's like, especially last year with the cancellation, unfortunately, but being there so early and experiencing the Wednesday party, it felt like we had a little bit more fulfillment. I felt like I was there longer. I felt like I had listened to a ton of music by the time the festival had already been canceled on Friday. I felt pretty good about, what we had gotten because of that Wednesday party.
for sure, it was just so crucial, and I think it really made the experience for a lot of folks. And I think, in a nutshell, that kind of encaptures the great thing about just Totem and like the real mission, and like, building that community is, coming away from that, like, beyond just the Wednesday party, just the whole aspect of Totem, and like really experiencing the group camp setting, and like, seeing all these crews together. And for first timers, like it can be, a really great experience to see that. It was great for me. I know for some folks, Totem, this was their first experience with Bonnaroo. I was fortunate enough. I had been 2 years prior. Well, actually, maybe 3 years prior. Actually, yeah, it was my fourth year last year. So it was really great for just boosting my overall experience of the farm and trying to grow my community and like make some friends and just, meet all these wonderful people that I've met through Totem. Yeah. Emilio, anything that stood out to you about Totem? Any big moments, big benefits for you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like just the community. I mean, I feel like, something that might not be, I guess, easy to grasp the concept of is that like we're all, or most of us are coming from like different pockets of the United States and, convening together. Like, for example, for myself, I flew out of LAX, flew into Atlanta, drove up, boom. Meeting with these people who like drove from Utah, Austin, I think you drove still like 3-4 hours or something from Knoxville, right? And that's just kind of cool. It was just like an interaction of, all of these different like parts that we're from, but we can all come together and just, enjoy like the site, the music, the each other. Like we're, as a community, we're like almost as big, probably bigger than the festival, in terms of like the energy that we bring. So yeah, I think I'm definitely like looking forward to just coming back to that. I think Bonnaroo is actually like my next festival. Yeah, because my local festival is Coachella. I've done that several times this year, but this time I chose to go to Asia this first half of the year. I won't be, so that'll be fun. Like Bonnaroo is gonna be my next festival, and yeah, I just can't wait to see everyone.
Yeah, it's cool that you touched on that, because that's something that I've always found like really interesting, is like just the draw of the festival and really building the community of people from anywhere and everywhere. And, not only from location, but also just like, the diversity of everyone. Like you have lawyers and people in STEM. You have,
How
you
about
know,
rocket scientists? I mean,
yeah, like
it's
just all
incredible.
over, like, and we all just have this something in our brains. It's like, yeah, I want to be on this big field for 4 days in the hottest part of the year in Tennessee, and you know, just soak it all in and just enjoy it. And that's, I don't know, it's what I love about it. And I love that, we have this organization and people that can recognize that and bring that to other people for sure. um, yeah, I'm just stoked to be back this year. Some other great things about Totem. Did either of you? I didn't get a chance to last year, and I wish we had some folks to talk about it. But the volunteer opportunities with the Planet Rue tent and the Totem tabling opportunities. So for folks that don't know, Planet Rue, great space for all of the nonprofit organizations. They can come and, it's a great way to get their word out and, exchange with a lot of folks at Bonnaroo. But Totem is fortunate enough to have a table there and, spread our, mission. I believe we have some candy stations to, do some bracelets and other things, little fun activities like that. But
Keychains.
yeah, great way to meet our Totem folks and, learn what we're about, but also a great way to just meet fellow Ruvians, just out and about. But yeah, lots and lots of fun things. Were either of you part of the mentor program at all, or were you mentees? Did either of you participate? I know that was a new thing for last year, so I'm not sure.
My goal for last year was really surviving on my own, you know.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm waiting until I feel confident enough in being able to survive before I tack someone else onto my nonsense. If that makes sense. I
That
mean,
is
heck, I still had to show up and get Imani to help me make my tent.
no, that
So
is
I'm just
that
kidding there.
is No, I didn't get a chance to. I think I'm in the same boat. I still, I'm approaching, Rue veteran status, but it's still, I feel, like a first timer every year, and what shenanigans will, arise, and what happens out there. Um but yeah, I
Part
would
of the
love to.
process to me. I feel like you can't just go one time and then feel like you know everything because it's so massive and there's so many people and there's so many things that I didn't get to do in my first year that I need to do before I can have that badge, I feel like.
For
Does
sure.
that make sense?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like you gotta, earn your stripes,
Yes.
do your thing. Yeah, for sure. But
But so no, I didn't do that. I tried to volunteer though, like at the table and Planet Root. I had everything signed up, I had the shirt bought,
mm.
but I was volunteering Sunday, and obviously,
Oh, okay.
Sunday didn't
Yeah,
exist.
I see.
Unfortunately, in another universe, another world, I would have volunteered and been that guy.
Yeah, that's roll of the dice. Things happen, but hopefully this year, it's a little more. There's a little more structure, just by means of it not flooding. But yeah, you know, that's part of the fun of Rue, though, is, having a plan, but also being ready to not have a plan and a
Fe-
moment's notice. But
We didn't hire enough Etsy witches.
yeah, yeah.
That's become we need to make our quota, and it's like we need to get 20 witches involved and make sure that we get the right spell. I think that's what happened. I think the spell was off last year.
Yeah, they just like not quite there, but
This is all preventable. We just have to get the plan right. Maybe we bought 3-star witches on Etsy instead of 5-star ones. I don't know what happened there.
we just, you gotta lock in. Etsy witches, lock in for 26. That's the message of. I think that's the core of what we're getting at here. But no, I mean 26. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. Totem, we obviously, there's a lot of great opportunities there. But outside of it, just in general, I mean, what are you guys looking forward to the most? Is it lineup? Is it, what's the big draw for 26 for you guys?
I feel like maybe or actually, maybe I'm the only one that feels like this. I feel like there's a little bit of a unfinished business as someone who has only been to Bonnaroo once, and there was a cancellation in the middle of it. So I feel like, yeah, I'm glad that I got the offer to return by Totem Foundation. I feel like, yeah, I just feel like there's a score to settle with the Rue gods. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the first Bonnaroo that I did, 2025, I somehow made it to the barricade of Dom Dalla and Green Velvet. Yeah, I don't even know how that happened. I just kind of like showed up.
You know, that's the thing with Bonnaroo. Like, so many first timers, I've heard those like stories of like, yeah, you just were in the right place, and it's like, oh, I'm in the pit. Like, there it is. You know, that's the Rue gods. They work in mysterious ways for sure. But yeah, I remember I was at I think we were at camp, and I was just chatting up, and ran into Emilio, and I was like, hey, like, what'd you get into? Like, what have you seen? And you just pull up this clip, and it's just you like in the front just vibing, and I was like, oh wow, okay, he's like sending it. All right, this is the new like first year energy I expect. Like, it was so fun. But
It's it's funny you mentioned that because I have the knowledge of how Austin and your friend perceives me, which is like I like this shy, reserved person, which is true for sure. But definitely like when the music's on, like I just let loose.
but yeah,
But yeah, it's funny.
I mean, what better place than Bonnaroo? Yeah, that's the I'm same way, very much like introverted, very like mild mannered, quiet, like, but then I get on the farm and it's like, that's my place. So yeah, just let loose, have fun, just really, you know, good music just has that effect on people. But yeah, I'm with you on, settling a score, really soaking it all in this year, trying to get that redemption, if you will. But yeah, I mean, and the lineup is, I mean, pretty stacked. I mean, Anthony, there's got to be, I mean, I imagine, you've got that indie rock vibe, you like what you like. I mean, the Strokes, I mean, there's a lot to like here this year. I mean,
Now, if you say you like indie rock, the Strokes is usually on your bucket list. You can't claim yourself to be a part of that community until you've seen the Strokes. Even if you're not a big fan, you still need to respect who they are, right? And so
that
that's what I'm excited for.
Dude, that was me. I was out at Austin City Limits a few months back, and they were headlining, and I was in that same boat. Like, consider myself, an indie head. I love, but the Strokes, admittedly, they're a little bit before, I'm, 2000. I was born in 2000, so that's, they were hitting their peak when I was a toddler. So, not like I kind of missed the boat on it. So it was always like, oh yeah, they've got the songs, someday. That's where they were for me. And then I saw them live, and it was just insane. They, so just 1-to-1, which is really saying something because, Julian Casablancas, he has, his track record, you never know. Every night's a little different. Don't know what version you're going to get. But I mean, they were just in the pocket, just really great live band. So, I mean, I'm just stoked to see that on the farm. I think seeing bands, there's an effect that the farm has on just artists. And so, yeah, I'm super stoked about that. A few other ones, Rainbow Kitten Surprise, that's one excited for. That's a little redemption one for me for sure. There's,
This is coming back from 2025.
yeah, that's
Joy was on the lineup last year, weren't they?
Mount Joy. Yeah, that's another.
So they're making a comeback.
I blanking right now. Mount Joy, that was one. Yeah, I was
Have
stoked
you ever
for
seen
that.
Mount Joy?
I haven't had the chance to. They're one. They've always been on my list. They just always either they never hit my city or just timing. I'm stoked to see those guys.
I saw them at Boston Calling a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They were pretty good, but Boston Calling, if you've never been, they don't do the best sound work at that festival.
Mm,
So, I feel bad when an artist goes up there and performs, and sometimes, it's not their fault. And I
yeah.
think that was the set with Mountain Joy. So I'm excited to see them again because I really like them. They do a lot of good stuff, a lot of cool things. So they're playing Bonnaroo, and then I think they're coming to Cleveland a month later. So, if I like them, I might do a double header with them, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be really fun. I feel like this lineup's also like scratching like all parts of my music brain. You know, we've got Clips, which is just, that's going to be a great set. I mean, um, who else? Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist. I mean, that's just,
And what about Kesha?
oh, Kesha. I mean,
Gotta bring up Kesha now.
you're really checking all the boxes. And honestly, Kesha with the Super Jam, I mean, there's no telling what's going to happen. I mean, I'm so stoked for that personally. Like,
She's incredible. You ever seen Kesha?
excuse me.
I have not seen Kesha.
No,
Haven't had the chance
Oh
to.
wait,
I've,
actually, I have. I have
You
seen
have?
Kesha.
Where?
I saw her at Lollapalooza. She was so right after Chapel Roan performed, Kesha came on like on the same field but different stage, if that makes sense.
Chapel
like-
Roan, Kesha back to back is crazy.
Yeah, and I just remember her first song. It's that one song where originally when it came out, she like shouted out Diddy, and now like
yeah.
when she performed it live, like it was anyway. Yeah, not the opposite of a shout out. So yeah, that was really fun. But overall, she has a lot of good songs. Yeah. So
She was my
I
first
will say
concert.
though. What's up?
Believe it or not. She was my first concert, believe it or not.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. It's one of those I went in, or just like you, Austin, with the Strokes, where you're like, I'll watch this, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it takes one song, and you're like, oh my goodness, she's incredible. Like, the first song she played for me was Cannibal.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. She had those wheels that people go on where they spin them, like the sex wheels.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
She had a guy on one of those wheels, and she's whipping them and stuff. And I'm like, wow, this is the first song, people. We're really swinging for the fences right off the bat. Crazy set. So I'm hoping, that was at a festival in Columbus. So I'm hoping, she brings the Bonnaroo energy.
Yeah. I mean, you not only just the Bonner energy, but the Super Jam energy. I mean,
That too, yes.
yeah, things are about like it'll be a crazy show. I'm so stoked for it. Turnstile, that's another one. I've never had the chance to catch them. But I mean, they're having a crazy year. Like it's such, so cool to see like what they're doing. But yeah, not only that they're playing the farm, but I may actually brave. I usually tap out for the late night sets, but I might have to, pull a all nighter, be up at 2 a.m. just to catch Turnstile. Cause I mean, that doesn't like, I don't know. Can't think of anything better. Like, some of those, I'm sure you guys have seen like the clips of just like, the energy from their shows, especially like this past tour they've been on. So, I'm excited to see that on the farm for sure.
You said they're playing late?
Yeah, I think they're doing like it's like a 2 a.m., one of the 10 late night sets. Which
Goodness.
the fact that they're in a tent, like I'm surprised, like, I don't know if there'll be some changes, but like that's definitely going to be like a crowd for sure. So
Yeah. I saw them in Miami. Yeah, and they
Wow.
performed at like the main stage. Yeah, it was a good set. Yeah, you had people like jumping on stage, jumping off stage. It was
yeah,
fun.
So are they worth staying up until 2 a.m. for, Emilio?
What was that?
Are they worth staying up until 2 a.m.?
I would say so. Like, I enjoy them.
yeah, I think they're definitely worth it for me. My biggest FOMO, biggest Bonnaroo, my regret, if you will, was the late night Idols set. I think it was 24 that Idols played? I think they did a late night set, and I like was just, I don't know if I wasn't tapped in as much as I am now, or it just wasn't, I would hit my wall, but I have kicked myself so many times for missing that set. So this is my redemption for that one for sure. Yeah, it'll be a great lot of cool stuff. The scheduling this year is interesting. A lot of, it seems like there's more sunrise, just late night festivities in general. I think with the scaling back this year, I think they have some freedom to play with the schedules, which I haven't done like a full deep dive into that, but yeah, it's looking really fun. I don't know. Have you guys ever done, Emilio, I don't think Emilio, we got the chance to, because I don't think we had any sunrise sets last year. But Anthony, has that ever been anything of appealing to you to really just full send, just sunrise, let's do it?
I did it my first year. Pretty Lights did a sunrise set. I remember I was back at the camp by the bus. I was ready to go to bed. And so I'm telling everyone, like, yeah, I'm going to go to bed. And Charlotte heard that. And Charlotte was very upset. And she said, you're not going to bed. You're coming with me to the sunrise set because we have to go find Daniel. I said, okay, we'll go. And so we went. And I mean, goodness, Charlotte spent about half the set looking for Daniel. He was nowhere to be found. But we ended up finding him. And he even had his totem, too. I don't know why it took so long. Yeah, that was a good memory. We hung in there until, goodness, whenever the sunrise set's over, 6 a.m.?
Yeah, something like that. Like they're brutal, but I feel like you really need friends like that. I think that's been my problem is like, just I need an accountability buddy, just to be like, hey,
Go talk to
like,
Charla.
yeah, it's like,
She'll get you to where you need to be. So that was a good time. And then Daniel and I walked back, and Daniel, I could tell he had hit his wall. He was, really running low on energy near the end there. But we both made it back to the bus, and yeah, that was a good night.
oh, man.
Good morning, I should say, actually.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Always some fun to be had. But yeah, I'm stoked about, next year. I keep saying next year. I can't get into my head that we're in 26. But yeah, this a lot of good stuff to look forward to. I know, especially just, the year of redemption for last year. I'm excited to see everybody. I know last year, even though it was short, had a lot of good times. My personal favorite, the kind of Rue Rally little parade walk that we did through camp, post cancellation. That was a great night. A good way to go out, with a bang. It was kind of cool, just playing music, trying to lift folk spirits. A little chaotic because you had that. You also had folks that were like hightailing it out of there. So, a lot of different commotions. But, it was great. Couldn't ask for better people to be around in that situation, which, I'm just stoked to be back on the farm. Grateful to be back. But yeah, I mean, next year, maybe survival guides for some incoming totem scholars, potential totem scholars. Maybe we'll have I'd love to have some more first timers. Newbies are great. Any advice, tips for, incoming totem scholars from anybody?
Well, the first thing I'll say is I know the deadline is coming up. What is it, Saturday?
Yeah.
Some people feel like it might be too late to apply. I can tell you right now it is not, because I applied the day applications were due, 24. I sat down, I dedicated the whole day to getting it done. I had learned about it probably at 10 a.m. I sat down and I cranked it out the rest of the day. So if you think that you're getting too close to the end there and you can't get your application in, that's nonsense. Sit down, work on it, and fill out that application and make it true to yourself, and you'll be good to go. So I think that's the first tip I guess I want to give, and I guess that's a tip before you even step on the farm. So that's a good start there. Get the application in. That's the first tip.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta apply. That's square one. But yeah, I agree. Like never too late. I'm total opposite. I think I heard and like applied. It's just just luck of the draw there. But hey, apply, get in. Whether you're first, you're last. If your name's in there, you got a shot of hanging out with some amazing folks. But yeah, it'll be great. Biggest tip for me, just be open. There's a lot of things, a lot of sights to see, a lot of people to meet. And so, yeah, just like going in with, an openness, try not to be overstressed. Know that you have people around that'll, make sure, no one's going to be, high and dry, just in terrible predicaments, just prepare, and do what you can, but don't let the stress and the anxiousness overwhelm and everything. Because once you get there, I mean, it's a breeze. You can have a plan, but plans go out the window. So just, be loose, be prepared, but also be prepared to be unprepared. Bit of a mouthful there, but that's, it's gotten me through my years. So, something's got to be working there.
Yeah, I think my tip, I guess I'll share a story. So when I flew in, I think I landed like at 6:30. I got some breakfast, right? And then so I went to go, because I had to drive a rental car. And yeah, I had to phone a friend actually because I didn't have my physical credit card on me. So thankfully, I had a friend in Atlanta, in the city that I flew in, to like come help me out. So yeah, just kind of like Austin was saying, be prepared to be unprepared. And yeah, and to make a plan. Um, Thankfully, I had a friend to phone, and yeah, I was able to get a Bonnaroo safely. Maybe in another world, I don't have a friend in Atlanta. I have to call up. I don't know what would have happened. Yeah, that's my tip. Just be prepared to be unprepared. Same as Austin.
Yeah. Tips, tricks, and really thinking of everything here. I guess just looking, as we've all had our experiences with Totem, and again, having the short end of the stick with our experience, we can still speak on it, but maybe outside of just Bonnaroo, is there anything kind of in the day to day in your personal lives, that you've carried with you, anything that's like stuck with you or benefits from Totem from your time on the farm?
I've said this the last time I was on this podcast back in, goodness, when was that? Like October? But I'll say it again because it's good advice. Just always be curious with people. I think that's really important to remember that, everyone has their own story, and it's up to you to try to learn that story. So, ask questions, try to learn about people, and as long as you stay curious, good things always happen, I feel like.
I can definitely attest to that for sure. I love that.
Yeah, I think on that kind of same note of like bringing a curiosity, I feel like just like there's just like an inherent, I guess, magic to sharing a moment with a stranger, whether it's, an interaction that's complimenting them for like their outfit or their smile or like just how they present themselves at Bonnaroo. Like it doesn't have to apply like at a festival that promotes, the Rue vibes, the Rue energy. Like you can be a Rue philosophy student outside of Rue. You can practice the way of the Rue and, tell someone they look good or that their smile is great, that you just like the way that they're carrying themselves outside of Rue, Like shoot, maybe somewhere in this parking lot of the Starbucks I'll compliment someone after this call or something. But yeah, I think that's something I've kind of carried with me after Bonnaroo.
Yeah, for sure. I saw that a lot when I was out at Austin City Limits, and that was my first festival kind of outside of Bonnaroo. And so, yeah, it was neat trying, seeing the different cultures and the different, vibes of festivals, but carrying that Bonnaroo spirit in that same space, was definitely super, I feel like just made the whole experience a lot more enjoyable, which Anthony, I'm sure you've experienced, in doing other shows and going to other shows. I mean, just having, that Bonnaroo experience, and just carrying it with you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's to be said that, yeah, you want to try to bring that energy anywhere when it comes to music, because I feel like the magic of Bonnaroo shouldn't just be at the farm. It can be anywhere because music brings people together, and I think that there's something to be said about that.
For sure. Um, yeah, which, that music, that's what it's all about for me, at least, at the end of the day. And, it's great to be able to experience that with, all these great people. But yeah, man, let's see, Totem. We've talked about the applications here. We've talked about, our experiences, what we're looking forward to this upcoming year. Is there anything, anything you guys want to add, about Totem? You know, open the floor here, see,
I feel like we covered everything.
yeah, that's kind of how I feel like, I feel like, yeah, I feel good about everything, but yeah, so I guess if we want to wrap it up, we can do a little outro.
I mean, 36 minutes. That's
Yeah,
nothing to bat an eye at.
no, I think that was great. Yeah, again, sorry, I feel like, I dropped the ball a bit. I know we're all like, everyone's got so much going on. It's that downtime off season, everyone's grinding it out. But yeah, apologies if this could have been a little more organized. But I just figured, hey, let's just go for it, But this has been super fun. Yeah, it was been great catching up with my fellow Totem scholars, but yeah, I am looking forward to, another year on the farm, another year with Totem. So yeah,